I remember a time when the fire in my heart burned bright, when every sunrise was a call to arms, and every sunset a reminder of the day's victories and losses. My body was strong, my spirit unyielding, and the world seemed full of endless possibilities. But time has a way of wearing down even the most formidable of warriors. Now as I sit here with my bones aching and my hair silvered by age, I have a story to tell, a story for you, my young friend, who walks the path of sorrow and doubt. I was not always the man you see before you. I was once filled with the same uncertainty that plagues you now. Life has a cruel way of testing us, of pushing us to our limits and then beyond. But it is through these trials that we find our true strength. I was born into a world of conflict. My village was nestled in the shadow of mountains that seemed to scrape the sky, their peaks perpetually shrouded in mist. It was a harsh land where survival depended on your ability to fight and fend for yourself. My father was a warrior, and his father before him. It was expected that I would follow in their footsteps, that I would take up the sword and defend our home against those who sought to take what little we had. My father was a stern man, hardened by years of battle and loss. He taught me the ways of the warrior with a relentless discipline that left no room for weakness. I remember the cold mornings when he would wake me before dawn, the frost still clinging to the grass, and we would train until the sun was high in the sky. There were times when I thought I could not go on, when every muscle in my body screamed for rest. But he would look at me with those steely eyes and say, "Pain is temporary, glory is eternal." It was on one of those bitter mornings that our village was attacked. The enemy came without warning, their war cries piercing the early morning silence. I was barely 16, untested in battle, but there was no time for fear. My father thrust a sword into my hand and pushed me towards the fray. "Fight, boy!" he shouted. "Fight for your home, for your family." The battle was a blur of steel and blood. I fought with all the strength I could muster, my heart pounding in my chest, fear and adrenaline coursing through my veins. I saw friends cut down, their lifeless bodies falling to the ground. I saw my father, a whirlwind of death, cutting through the enemy ranks with a fury I had never seen before. But even the mightiest warriors can fall. I watched in horror as my father was struck down, a sword driven through his chest. His eyes found mine in his final moments, and he mouthed a single word: "Fight." That word became my mantra. I fought with a ferocity that surprised even myself. Driven by the need to honor my father's last command, by the time the sun set, the enemy had been repelled, but at a great cost. Our village was in ruins, many of our people dead or wounded. I stood over my father's body, the weight of his death pressing down on me like a physical force. In the days that followed, I was consumed by grief and anger. I had lost not only my father, but also my sense of purpose. The world seemed dark and unforgiving, and I felt as if I was adrift in a sea of sorrow. But then I remembered my father's words, his unwavering belief in the warrior's path. I realized that to honor his memory, I had to continue fighting, not just against our enemies, but against the despair that threatened to overwhelm me. I threw myself into my training with renewed vigor, determined to become the warrior my father had believed I could be. I traveled far and wide, seeking out the greatest masters of combat and learning all I could from them. Each new skill, each hard-earned lesson was a step towards becoming the man I wanted to be. But it was not an easy journey. I faced countless challenges, both physical and emotional. There were times when I wanted to give up, and the pain and the loneliness seemed too much to bear. But I would hear my father's voice in my mind urging me to fight on. Years passed, and I became known as a formidable warrior. I fought in many battles, always striving to protect the innocent and uphold the values my father had instilled in me. But the life of a warrior is a lonely one. I made few friends, and those I did were often lost to the ravages of war. I never married, never had children. My sword was my only companion, and the battlefield my home. One day, as I was wandering through a remote village, I met a young woman named Alara. She was kind and gentle, with a smile that could light up the darkest of days. She saw through the hardened exterior I had built around myself and touched a part of me that I had long thought dead. For the first time in many years, I felt a glimmer of hope, a sense that maybe there was more to life than endless fighting. Alara and I grew close, and I began to imagine a different future, one where I could lay down my sword and find peace. But fate is a cruel mistress. Our village was attacked, just as mine had been all those years ago. I fought with all my might, but I was only one man. In the chaos of battle, I lost sight of Alara. When the dust settled, I found her lifeless body among the fallen. I was devastated. I had thought that I could protect her, that I could keep her safe. But I had failed. Just as I had failed my father, the grief threatened to consume me. But I knew I could not let it. I had to keep fighting, not just for myself, but for those I had lost. In the years that followed, I continued my journey, seeking out those who needed my help and fighting for justice wherever I could. The pain of my losses never fully left me, but I learned to carry it with me, to let it fuel my determination rather than drag me down. I realized that life is a constant battle, not just against external foes, but against our own inner demons. And it is in this struggle that we find our true strength. Now, as I sit here in the twilight of my years, I see the same pain and doubt in your eyes that I once carried in my own. You have faced your own trials, your own losses. The world has not been kind to you, and it has left you scarred and weary. But I am here to tell you that there is still hope, still a reason to fight. You are stronger than you know. You have the heart of a warrior, even if you do not yet realize it. The pain you feel is a testament to your strength, for it takes great courage to face such sorrow and continue on. Do not let it consume you. Let it be your fuel, your fire. Let it drive you to be better, to rise above. I have walked the path of sorrow and found my way through, and so can you. Life will always be full of challenges, of moments that test your resolve. But it is in these moments that you discover who you truly are. You have the power within you to overcome any obstacle, to face any foe. You have the strength to carry on, even when the world seems darkest. Remember that you are not alone. There are others who have walked this path before you, who have faced the same struggles and emerged stronger. Draw on their strength and know that you are a part of a long and proud lineage of warriors. Do not be afraid to seek help when you need it. Even the strongest of us need support from time to time. Surround yourself with those who believe in you, who lift you up when you are down, and never be afraid to ask for guidance. I have learned that wisdom can come from the most unexpected places, and that sometimes the most important lessons are those we learn from others. As you continue on your journey, remember that every step you take, every battle you fight, is a testament to your strength and resilience. You are a warrior, forged in the fires of adversity. And it is through these trials that you will find your true self. Do not let the weight of your sorrow hold you back. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it propel you forward. You have the power to shape your own destiny, to create a future that is brighter and more hopeful than you ever imagined. Believe in yourself as I believe in you. The road ahead will not be easy. There will be times when you falter, when the burden feels too great. But remember that you are never truly alone. The spirits of those who came before you, who fought and bled and sacrificed, are with you always. Draw on their strength and let it guide you. You have the heart of a warrior, and that is something that can never be taken from you. No matter what challenges you face, no matter how many times you fall, you have the strength to rise again. You have the power to overcome, to endure, to triumph. This is your story, your journey. Make it one that you can be proud of. Fight with all your heart and never give up. You have within you the strength to overcome any obstacle, to face any foe. You are a warrior, and you are not alone. Remember that the darkest moments are often followed by the brightest dawns. There is always hope, always a reason to keep fighting. You have the power to create a future that is full of light and promise. Believe in yourself and know that you have the strength to overcome any challenge. I believe in you. I have seen the strength that lies within you, and I know that you are capable of great things. You have the heart of a warrior, and that is something that can never be taken from you. So, rise, my young friend. Rise and fight. Embrace your pain, your sorrow, and let it fuel your determination. You are stronger than you know, and you have the power to shape your own destiny. Believe in yourself as I believe in you. You are a warrior, and you are not alone. The path ahead may be difficult, but it is also full of promise and potential. You have the strength to overcome any obstacle, to face any foe. You have the power to create a future that is brighter and more hopeful than you ever imagined. Remember my story, and let it be a source of strength and inspiration.